Good morning, good morning. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to get started. So play that beautiful theme music.
I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain of the story. Pages turning. I'm the star of the movie. What you was afraid of, the reason that you worry. Cause I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain of the story. I'm the bad guy. Villain of the story. Pages turning. I'm the star of the movie. What you was afraid of.
Okay, people. Good morning. How y'all doing today? My name is Richard Clemens, and this is Bipolar in Cleveland, and I will be your host. So let's get right into it. Right. Well, this is February the 7th, the month of Black Reminder Month. This is Black Reminder Month, remind us of all the stuff that we've been through, and all of the atrocities. I didn't write any notes on this. I was just thinking about it just before I started recording, because I pulled something up on Facebook, and it was talking about, what did it say? Right. Once again, going off a topic. Well, but it says that, they have books in blackface in Barnes and Nobles that celebrates Black History Month, showcasing white people throughout the history of entertainment, dressing up in blackface. So this is at Barnes and Nobles during Black Reminder Month. It's like we have generational amnesia. It's like every generation, black kids grow up like, oh, it's been messed up, 400 years. Then they got a magazine called 1619, talking about, before the Mayflower, Virginia, they had the first slaves come off the ship and things like that. It's like, I don't subscribe to that type of thinking. Okay, because the thing is that flesh is a business. And as I said before, black people, we are a great commodity. You should think about it as that way. You're worth $1 billion the day you was born, but business takes time to grow, and it could have been an indentured servant. There was already black people over here. It's a lot to go into all of that. So for us always to exploit ourselves, to, as I have done with this show, lean into all of the negatives, all of the bad things that you're not, I don't know if you're supposed to say them or not, but it's a way that you say everything, of course, but the thing is, this is what we do as a people. This is why I speak, as a man and one woman, and when I speak that way, I'm speaking to everyone, even though you think it may not apply, however it goes, if you black in America and you a man, then I know what your life been like. And if, and I know how it is to deal with black women in society, from the low to the high, or however that goes. So, my point is about us leaning into those things too much. I'm trying not to do that anymore myself, or not as much. I'm doing it now, actually, because I didn't write notes about this. So I'm gonna wrap it up. As we go through this reminder month, and as I said before, we have generational amnesia. So every, and then they do this to us every year. So it's not like we get to forget, but it's like our kids, always have the same questions that we had when we were growing up. Why is it like this, and why do they talk to us like this, or how, why does society treat us like this, and who am I in this world? It's like every generation we have to go through this, and then every year they remind us of, all of the shit they done to us, since we all came over here and built this country. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter, like how you got there. We woke up in the middle of the dream. And so you don't remember, everything from the fight. You just know you fought. So just fight, and, you ain't gonna know what the fuck happened. All you know is if you winning, or if you standing, or if you on the ground at the end of the day. So that's, this Black Reminder Month is not for me. I don't like it. It's like, right, if we didn't have this, then what would we have? It's like, I don't, that's why I would like to have a foundation. This is the whole point of this. I'm going to start acting like it and talking like it, or however it goes, to the best of my ability at this point. But, to have a foundation where, all Black kids get books from Black books, Black history, because this is the thing. Oh, right, I'm doing something else. Okay, so I was thinking that we need to teach our children from a director's point of view, to look at the whole picture, to study the world as a whole from the beginning, because, if they're going to teach them their history once they get into school, but we have to already tell them, like they're going to teach you, their his story, his story, the white man's story. And so like the story, is bigger than their story. This is a global story. This is a story of man. Our story is a story of a people. This is why you can listen to the Quran and read the Bible, because, this is a story, of a people. And so we have to teach them that from the beginning, so they already know. Because like I said before, it's this Black History Month, this Black Reminder Month, just reminds of the bad things, and then they try to sneak in, the other, they got the usual players in school and things like that, but everyone doesn't watch the same channels, or people don't read the same books. So they, it's hundreds of people, I mean, it's one girl, I forgot, like, I think her master was a real estate guy, right? So he moved to California, and, it was no slavery out there, because there are parts of this country there has never been slavery, because it's a progression. People move further out west, and half of that stuff didn't even belong to the U.S. So it was no slavery out there, that's why it's all concentrated, down south like that for those purposes. But they moved to California, so she went to court and sued her master for her freedom and won. See what I'm saying? These are laws. It's not, these are laws. Every story is individual, and we was always fighting, for freedom, for equality, for representation, reciprocity, all of those things from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Enslavement is not slavery, Right. A POW, it's like Trump talking about John McCain being a prisoner of war, and being, to I like heroes that wasn't captured, I like soldiers that didn't get caught. What he really saying is that he like crooks that don't get caught. But speaking of Trump, let's get into what I actually wrote down, which is about this current political situation, environment, and atmosphere, and all of those good words. So, all right, the thing is this, for I always think about this once in a while because they be, because like they all, to me, well, we know, niggas know that, they all on the same side, and they just, the skirmishes between them, and it has nothing to do with us. This is why we need to mind our business. But for the last about 55 years, okay, since Nixon, okay, till now, that's 55 years, right? So Nixon got 8 years, right? Carter got 4. Okay, hold on. Richard Nixon got 8 years, but he was, he left before he got impeached. But Gerald Ford was his vice president, and he acquitted the nigga, or he pardoned him in like 1974. He did it 2 years, didn't run again, however that goes. And Carter won the Democratic presidency, right? So he got 4 years. So that's 8 years for Nixon, four for Carter. Then Reagan got 8 years, right? All the stuff that happened, right? Crack, the Iran-Contra situation, him having dementia, not really running the country. Like that's when we thought the president, the presidency was a puppet type of thing. That's where that shit came in at. Then you had Bush #1 in there for 4 years, and he was the head of the CIA, all of this type of, he's an inside man from the beginning. So he only got 4 years because he raised the white folks' taxes after he said he wouldn't, read my lips. So he only got 4. Then Clinton, right? Clinton got 8. So, right, this is when they skirmishes come in at where, they didn't like Clinton, because it's a battle at the top, right? So, all of this stuff doesn't pertain to us. I'm just speaking like, I'm dribbling it down. The information is cool, but us, the business part of it is not for us. You know what I'm saying? We can look at the numbers and say, oh, okay, that's some fucked up books you got there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all running a crooked operation and walk away. But we have the information, but we don't have to try to fix their fucking books or try to help them fix their books. That's my point. Okay. So Clinton, right? Clinton got 8 years. Then comes another Bush, right? Well, they impeached Clinton, right? For their battle at the top. They impeached Clinton because they didn't like him. Because, right, and black people liked him. Calling him the first black president, but this nigga sat up there, did change welfare and, messed that all up for a lot of people, and then signed the crime bill, which Biden was a part of that. All of them was a part of that, Republican and Democrat alike. I got caught up in that whole circle. This is why I talk about jail so much, because you can get arrested for anything, you know what I'm saying? And and they used to follow us around, you know what I mean? Talking about like actually you walking down the street and you get pulled over. Like you talking about that like that, right? Bloomberg, I'm gonna get onto him. So anyway, what was I saying? Okay. So then Peach Clinton. Then that's 8 years for Clinton. 8 years for another Bush. Then you have then you have now you have the other Bush, Bush 2. Now, Cat Williams, summed up, Bush, George Bush 2, George W. H.W. Herbert, right? Herbert Walker. What the hell? That's the first name of the, Bush, George Herbert Walker. And so I don't know I don't know. I guess his middle name might be Wilbur too, but they not, like, it's not a junior. So anyway, Cat Williams said, he fucked up everything, air, water, Pakistan, Iran, everything was the enemy, the number one threat, to us, took us to war, right? They crashed the New York buildings, the Twin Towers, all of that, right? So then I forgot. And then he wrecked the economy. They took everything. They took all these niggas, all these white people. Like, I don't understand. Remember, what was that? Wall Street, the March on Wall Street, or however that was, how they was out there sleeping, on Wall Street, all against the 1% for I don't know how long. All that shit disappeared. And then they crashed the economy, took everybody's houses, and then they want to elect a black man. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to elect a black man. And then black people was talking about he couldn't get voted in. I remember all that stuff, all this, like I said, leaning into negatives, said he was going to get killed and all this other stuff. Then he wasn't going to get reelected, he fixed the economy, talking about he ain't doing enough for black people. Like, he saved America, niggas. Sorry. Okay. He saved America, people, he saved America. Y'all just don't get that point. It's about, and he won, he won when they was trying to cheat him, So that counts, and it's like, like how y'all don't like me talking about Jesus. Y'all ain't supposed to talk about Obama, nothing negative about Obama, at all. Kobe neither right now, but, nothing about Obama, cause that's our black Jesus. Nigga, that nigga is impossible. Right? He said it never happened. So what does never mean? Right. He's impossible. Shout out to Cat Williams, king of the niggas. Okay. Then after Obama, we have Trump. Right? Now we're in our 10th year of growth. With the economy, he takes credit for all that. He has dismantled numerous things that Obama had put in place for America, which benefits black people at the end of the day, because if them white folks happy, then they not messing with us. Okay. How about that? And now what I'm getting on to this is that these numbers add up to be right now, with Trump, because this is about his 4th year, it's 32 years for the Republicans being in charge of the White House, and not even going into the flip-flops of the Senate and the Congress and what that means to what you can do while you're president, because, they shut Obama down. Another thing to that also, they wouldn't pass his shit, a lot of his stuff, okay? Like right up to, the end, been in president for 7 years, and he supposed to appoint somebody to the Supreme Court, and they stopped it. Okay, like, this is cheating. Okay, I don't want to play these games no more with these people. Okay, and I don't want to mind their business. So that's 32 years for the Republicans, 20 years for the Democrats. Okay, and I'm not saying like, right. How many fights can we have? It's like, the Democrats just want us to, they just want our vote and they don't want to do nothing for us. Okay, that's fine. So for us to have an agenda is cool. That's fine. But what is the alternative? Because we're not supposed to vote Republican at all. And what, the only other choice is not to vote. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lose-lose situation, and that's the choice, that they put us in. That's the same thing with the world, people, about one God, and how's it going to be one God, but every religion got their own God, So if I say it's more than one God because I read more than one book, what does that mean? Okay. No preaching time. So, you have right? Like I said before, it's 32 years. And, you know, like Nixon got 8. I mean, Bush is the only one that didn't get 8. It's like 5-3, right? 5-3 presidents. I mean, we had about 8 presidents since, you know, in the last 55 years. So, you know, it's Nixon, Reagan. I mean, shit, you could throw Ford in there because he was there for 2 years. Nixon, Reagan, Ford, Bush 1, 2, and Trump. You see what I'm saying? And then you just have Carter. He only had 4. Clinton got 8. Obama got 8. You know, but the numbers matter because, you know, it's like when the Democrats are, you know, in the White House, you know, we do take that one step forward, you know, but you see how the discrepancy of who's been in charge, you know, those 2 steps back keep happening, you know, and it's like they want to keep us in a perpetual loop, you know, it's just like, right. Like, the Westerns, right? It was like one point that it was like over 150 something Westerns on TV. I think I said this before, but it's only like there's 3 channels, you know what I mean? Like everything was a Western, and, you know, they make it seem like, you know, it was ordinary living, you know, how, you know, things were clean and, you know, you don't see no horse shit or anything like that. And, or all the dirtiness and all of that, you know, they glorify this, you know, and people, you know, and all the toughness and, you know, the writing, you know, the intensity, you know, and it's a good, you know, it was always clear moral, you know, understanding of things, you know, and it's like, this is, you know, this is what they programmed, right, into all the people, you know what I mean, black and white, whatever, red and blue, all alike. And so this is what we grew up on about, you know, how people lived, you know, like people didn't live like that, you know, and you have adapted this attitude, like you have these, you know, these morals and you don't have them, and this shit is all made up, you know, and we have, we live by these rules, but, you know, they don't live by them, you know. So let me move on because I might be getting off topic. Okay, like, one thing about Obama, you know, so, right, they did kill Gaddafi, you know, Hillary Clinton got a lot to do with that, but that was bad. And, you know, he did kill, right, once again, Cat Williams said, you know, like he killed all the terrorists. So that's another thing that he did. But as far as Trump, right, I don't know where to begin, you know, on him. You know, it's like over 100 people, 100 charges have been brought and associated with him. 3 companies, 34 people indicted, you know, so far, you know, so, and he's been a crook, you know, his father was a crook, grandfather was a crook. So, you know, this man lies, you know, and it's something like, I mean, he's a true Gemini, like, and Kanye West is a Gemini. And I watched his interview for the first time. Like, you know, everything he said, though, like, I agree with, you know. I say, like, Geminis are like bad Libras, and Pisces are crazy Libras. And, like, we 3 are, like, similar, right? I can be like them, you know, but my scales always balance, like bring me back, you know, from whatever edge that they go over. But my point is that this man, you know, is like, they stick to their guns, you know, like, and they don't, you know, and the more that you push them, the more that they're going to retreat, you know, into that corner, you know. It's like, you know, you're against me, you know, and everybody against me, and you can't tell me nothing else. I mean, it's like there's no rationale in that sense, you know. So Pete Buttigieg, right? He has come up You know, this is their gay white hope. I'm one of them, the first one saying that. Right. I'm a walking fucking quote. But anyway, he came in second. At first they thought he won, you know, the caucus in Iowa, you know, where the population is 97% Caucasian, Slavic, right? That's white people words. So, he, you know, he was on The View yesterday and everything, but like, you know, he's just, like I said, that great gay hope, and he's second place now. You know what I mean? He has momentum. You know, at first they thought he won, but it comes out, you know, Bernie Sanders actually won, which the Democrats hate even more. You know, it's just they just blowing poor Joe Biden, you know, up. And you know, right. Speaking of The View, I cannot stand Meghan McCain. Right, like this is the reason I got a damn show. Right, tell the world shit. Like I cannot. She is so white girl. She is so spoiled white girl. I mean, I don't like her. She's rude. She always like interrupt Whoopi. I mean, like, you only got so much time, and so you get your point out, and then somebody start disagreeing with you, and you want to interrupt them. And then yesterday, she just talked all the way through Whoopi trying to say something, you know what I mean, until they had to go to commercial, and then she still talking about, oh, you hate such and such, talking to Joy, you know what I mean, like I just not like she, and like. She always thinks somebody, and then if you say something to her, like one time Whoopi tried to check her and she want to get to crying. Like, I mean, like she is such a white girl, spoiled white girl. I mean, like to the max. And like, I don't like her at all. She's bad, like bad type of, privileged, not privileged, but, spoiled. I mean, she just spoiled to the max. And she act like it, and she groans. Tomorrow, I'm 35 years old. And it's because you trying, like, right? If you so act like you got some damn sense, then act like you have respect and let somebody speak. You know what I mean? She's the rudest. You know what I'm saying? She's the rudest. Like they all do that. These pundits and these, they not reporters. They just personalities, these TV personalities, mainstream, you interrupt people, all the time. It's like, I don't get it, oh man. So Pete Buttigieg, like I said, he's making his move. He has and now, Elizabeth Warren came in. It was Bernie Sanders, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, and then, Joe Biden and Amy Klobuchar after that. But Bloomberg is making his move also. He got a commercial with Obama, you know what I'm saying? Like Obama endorsing him, you know what I mean? Like, you ever been mind fucked, But, these, the games don't stop, and like I said before, the Democrats don't like, Bernie Sanders, making his move and being, on top, and now they're going to, call him a socialist. Like, that's going to be his own party before he even gets to, Trump, and then he had that heart attack. So, they're going to bring that up. I mean, I like him, talking about free education and things like that, I don't think they probably ever gonna do that. And black people stop asking for reparations, nigga, right? And we the ones, we don't like beggars. We don't like people with their handouts. So, why are y'all as a people supporting anything that says that we need a fucking handout, right? We don't need a handout. We need somebody to get their foot off our back, right? Right? Is that what Malcolm X said? So anyway, we know how to do things, right? Right. Black Wall Street actually existed, and so jealousy, however that, I don't know, little things spark them off, you know what I mean? So that's not your business, but just build your stuff up and stop worrying about it. But anyway. Right, Bloomberg. You know, he's buying his way, you know, into this. I mean, right. I mean, I don't know, the same way Trump did, right? And he got more money than everybody. And, you know, I don't know. I don't think, right. It's like, I don't think Joe Biden is going to make it. You know, it's like, I think, they're going to, it's going to be Bloomberg, a little gay boy. I'm sorry. You know, I hope Joe Biden makes it, you know, to the end. I don't, you know, like, you know, we're not, you know, we can't be always so enthusiastic about any of them, you know, but it's not even picking your poison, but whoever gets in there, you know, we need to start having an agenda. You know, people always, you know, we have a million agendas, you know. It's like, you know, start with the basics, you know, keep it simple, you know, let's start with something. You know, I don't know what that is right now, and I don't have enough power to put all my thoughts to fruition. But anyway, what do we have here? Oh, yeah, the coronavirus. I wonder who came up with that, because, you know, it had to be, that's that mindfuck shit against Mexicans. I don't care what you say, you know, they make these names up, right? You could have made it anything. Why you want to make it Corona? Somebody on Facebook had the Corona bottle on one side, like a bowling pin, and all the Heineken on the other side, you know, set up like, you know, the pins to be knocked down or however. And, they had a mask over the Heineken, like keep them away from the Corona. It was funny. But so this virus, you know, and it's getting bigger, you know, it's talking about 50,000 people around the world, 500 something people didn't die. It's here in the U.S. People are quarantined here in various places around the country. And, this is something that takes place, every 100 years, people. 17, 20, 18, 20, 19, 20, 2020. That's the word on the wire. Trump did his speech yesterday, right? And, you know, talking about Nancy Pelosi, talking about Mitt Romney. I mean, like, this man is crazy. Boo this man. Boo this man. He's sitting up there talking about he hate these people, don't like them. You know what I mean? I mean, like, the president's sitting up here at a prayer meeting, you know. I mean, this is after he talked for an hour, you know. Right, how long he been talking? I forgot. He did a State of the Union, then he did something yesterday morning, then he went to the prayer breakfast and talked again. I mean, he just been talking, you know, and he, you know, talking about Nancy Pelosi is mean, nasty, right? He talks so nasty about people, but he's really talking like he's talking about himself. He's talking about Joe Biden's son, you know, having a free job. And imagine if my kids and such and Ivanka Trump sitting right there in the fucking front row or however it goes, and his son is working for him somewhere else. And it's, you know, it's like you are the epitome of nepotism and all of this, and you're talking about somebody else, you know. It's like and it's like they know this. I mean, like, right? They not retarded. White people, are y'all retarded? You know, it's like, you know, this man ain't no good. And so, like, what does that, right? Birds of a feather, stuff like that. That's about it for me for today. Right? That's my political talk. And I do appreciate you listening to me. I have no wrap up, and what's the point of this? I guess it is that we have to vote, you know, and Like, right, South Carolina, like, that's our concentration of black people. That's, I guess that's our only representation out of all these primary states, that they go through. South Carolina is the only one that they count, and also, like it starts, like I said, with Iowa. Now they're going on to New Hampshire, like all of this conservative white areas, to flesh out the progressive, or to basically to vote for the Democratic equivalency of Trump or the Republican. You understand me? Like, there's just two sides of the same coins. Like, anyone else that was running, that has all these other crazy ideas about fairness, actually, get them out of there. The one that's talking about, I'm going to be fair as I can. Okay. That's the one that we want. So, excuse me. So that's, that's that's how they start. So, and then they want to move west where it's more liberal and things like that, California and Nevada. I don't know about Nevada being liberal. I don't know about that. I think they are, more so. So anyway, but they want to move it out there afterwards, after most of 50% of the work has been done already, and now you don't have a choice, it's like they say it's a choice, but, we all watching it all go down, but we don't have anything to do with it, until it comes to a city near you, it's like, that's crazy. So, my point is, I guess, would be whoever it is, we need to yell at them. Once they get in there, it's like, y'all know right now, it doesn't matter, what we say or what we do. We have nothing to do with this part of the process. Whoever they choose, we vote for them on the Democratic side. And then once they get in, we get to yelling at them, right? Wait till they get into the house. Then you whoop their ass. And I'm out. I appreciate y'all listening to me. This has been Richard Clemens on Bipolar in Cleveland with the TNC Network, Tupac Nation. Yes, sir. We are taking it all the way worldwide, Craig. You know what I mean? And I'm gone.
I'm the